Today we're going to talk about GOMC Guitar Vaults and why a guitar vault could be one of the most important pieces of gear you'll ever own. Let's get started. Okay, so before I go into all the features and all of the reasons why I think you should get a guitar vault, I'll just explain really quick who GOMC is. GOMC stands for Get Off My Case. It's kind of a play on words. So basically what they are is a company who makes guitar cases, guitar vaults. They also make all kinds of different road cases for all of your equipment, from amps to PAs, soundboards, pretty much anything you could think of, they make a case for it. They come in many different shapes, sizes, and colors. You can even customize some of the things on them to suit your tastes and to suit your needs. And they make really nice guitar vaults, like I have here, that are lightweight, well constructed, and they keep your guitars safe. And if you only have a few guitars, or if you have a lot of guitars, they can make a vault that will suit your needs. I posted a link below so that you could check out their website and see all the different options that they offer. And so far, I'm really happy with mine, and I'm sure you'll like yours as well. Okay, so let's go over the features of this guy really quick. This particular one here I got, it's very lightweight, like I was saying. I didn't think it was going to be this light. I thought it was going to be really heavy, but it's not. It's pretty easy to carry around. There's giant casters on the back, so you can tilt it back and push it or pull it. It also has handles on the sides and the top. The latches are very heavy duty, and I don't think these are going to wear out or break on me ever, so that's nice. And the guitars are in here very tightly, and they give you these really nice velvety kind of ropes. There's like a bungee cord inside, and around that is some really heavy duty foam, and then they wrap that foam with some really nice soft velvet so that you won't scratch your guitars. And there's eyelets inside that you can hook it to and wrap around your guitars and keep them really snug in there and keep them from tipping out. Now I will say that where the guitar kind of sets in here, it's pretty tight as it is, so I like the security that that offers, but now you have double security with this guy. And mine, since it's a 4 guitar unit, it came with 4 of the velvet ropes to secure the guitars with. And there's multiple ways that you can secure them, and you just pick the way that works best for you. This unit is also powered, so on the side I have a really nice heavy duty power jack, and you just plug in an extension cord to that, and underneath here there's a bus plug, and then the lights are hooked up to that. And I'll show you how I customize some of the things later, but I could plug in several things to it and run different things. Like I use it to charge my batteries for my wireless units, and I use it for charging my phone or a tablet or something like that. So it really does come in handy to have power. So I would recommend getting the lights and the power because it looks cool, and it's very nice to have some of those features, because you know, when you're on a gig, sometimes you don't realize you need power for certain things, and having this here, everything is all in one spot. So this is like your little care station. So if you need power, any kind of picks or any other kind of little things that you need for the show, you could store them on here, and it's just a one-stop shop for you. Now I found the price to be very affordable on this unit, and the quality is very good as well. I really like the features. I like the fact that you can add the lights and the power, and you can add the carpet on the inside as an additional kind of step-up option, and you can customize it with any color that you want. You have 3 really nice handles on it, 2 on the sides and 1 on the top. And once again, it's very lightweight, and with the casters underneath, it's easy to roll up and down ramps and to load in and out of venues. What I also liked is I could pick textured panels on this, and it's kind of nice because it's just a little nicer than your typical boring flat wood. So that was kind of a nice feature to choose from as well. So once again, if you're looking for a really good affordable product, GOMC is a good place to go because they make a really nice quality product with a lot of great features to choose from at a very affordable price. Okay, so now let's talk about why would you even consider getting a vault in the first place? I mean, what if you're just a local musician like I am and you just kind of play locally and you don't really tour around the world or around the country very often, and you're wondering, like, is this really worth the investment? Well, I'm going to tell you a resounding yes, it is definitely worth the investment. And here's why. Number one, it's much faster with the Guitar Vault. All your guitars are in one spot, and when you set up for the show, you just wheel this on the stage, pop the lid off, and you're done. And when your performance is over, you're not putting 4 guitars away like I would be doing here. I'm just going to put away the one guitar that I'm wearing. All of the other ones are already put away. So I just take this guitar off and I pop it in its spot, put the rope around it, pop the lid on, and wheel it off the stage. I'm done. As opposed to what I used to always do for years, I would have something like this on stage with me. So I would have 3 guitars hanging on there, and I'd be wearing the 4th one. And then as soon as my show's over, I have to go find 4 guitar cases, open them all up, pop the whammy bars off, pop the straps off, stick them all in the cases, make sure everything's put in there neatly, and close the lids, and then carry them off the stage one by one. And that takes forever compared to what's going on over here. So already this thing's really shining big time regarding the comparison between doing it this way and doing it that way. Okay, so let's go over reason number 2. It's a lot easier. I mean, I could be making a couple of trips in and out of the venue with multiple guitar cases, or I could just wheel this in one trip. And then when the show's over, I wheel everything out in one trip as opposed to multiple trips. And the other thing too is, I'll bet you it's a lot easier to keep track of this than it is to keep track of 4 or 5 or however many guitar cases that you're going to bring. That's why these are so much easier. And here's the other reason. Security. I mean, you can wheel this up on the stage, have it locked shut, and chances are people aren't going to walk off with that. I mean, it'd be pretty obvious if somebody's wheeling a big guitar case out the stage that it doesn't belong to them. As opposed to 4 cases on the floor kind of in the dark, somebody could easily walk out with one of those, and that's just not a good scenario for you. Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario, and this is pretty much 99% of the time when we do a show. You get there, load-in is always like 5 o'clock, even if doors are at 8. Load-in's around 5. So you get there around 5, you bring all your gear in, and you stage it, you backline it. Maybe there's a spot where you can pile it all up, and that's all great. But typically what I try to do is get there, and I set this guy up, and I put all my guitars on it and make sure that they're ready to go, and then I leave the 4th guitar in the case somewhere. And then we go to dinner, you know, because we're hungry and we're going on in a few hours and we want to get something to eat. So here's the thing, though. While we're gone at dinner, I mean, this guy right here is responsible for holding all of my guitars. And there's all these other guys walking past it, carrying gear, coming on and off the stage with all their stuff. And it's just a matter of time before somebody turns around and bangs into this thing and either scratches one of my guitars or just knocks the whole thing over. I mean, I play expensive guitars. These things are $3,000 each. So on this stand, you're looking at $9,000. And if somebody walks by and knocks this thing over, $9,000 is going to go crashing to the floor, and there's going to be all kinds of issues. And I don't want to come back from dinner to that. So I mean, that was just a horrible scenario for me to always worry about every time we went to dinner. I was always like, man, I wonder if somebody's going to bang into one of my guitars. Now, here's the thing. It actually happened once, and it happened to this guitar that I'm holding right here. This is my JP15, and I actually just bought this guitar about a month before this show. We played in Ohio, and I hung it on this stand, and it was right by the stage, and I had to use the restroom before we went on. It was probably like 5 minutes before we went on stage. And I was like, well, I'm just going to hang it there, and when I get back, I'll grab it, put it on, and we'll go on stage. Well, I use the restroom, I come back, and there's this huge, like, keyboard stand. Just, it looked like it fell from the sky, laying in front of my guitar. And I was like, man, that looks weird. That does not look like it was put down carefully at all. and I had this horrible green feeling in my stomach immediately. And sure enough, I walked up and I checked my guitar, and it was hanging like this, you know, so the face of it looked fine, but there was a gash on top of it, and I'll post a picture of it right here. Now I colored it in with furniture marker just to cover it up and try to do my best to hide it, but the wood underneath is a really nice, it's like a whitish kind of wood, so it was really bright. And as soon as I tilted my guitar and looked down at it, I was like just sick to my stomach, you know. So here I am about to go on stage with my brand new guitar that I had for just under a month, and it's my first Ernie Ball guitar, and I was all excited about it. And somebody was careless enough to just take a keyboard stand and throw it in front of my guitar where it was hanging and nick the guitar, and nobody fessed up to it, obviously, because they could see I was seething. And so I had to go on stage with that horrible feeling in my stomach and play a show after that. And I was sick about it for like 3 months. I'm not kidding you, it just made me sick. And I called Ernie Ball, and it would have cost $1,000 to retop the guitar. So obviously I didn't do that because that's just too much money to spend on retopping a guitar. So had I had one of these, that would have never happened. That's the beauty of having this. And telling you guys, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's a matter of when it's going to happen to you. It really is. And I would just hate to see something like this happen to you. Now, let's just say, like, some of you guys are like, well, I don't play $3,000 guitars. My guitars are only like $400 or $500 or whatever. Okay, I get that, and I totally understand where you're coming from. But here's the thing. It's not about having a nick in your guitar or a blemish or a scratch. It's about you're about to go on stage and somebody walked by your guitar stand and knocked all your guitars over and they're broke. You can't play a show with a broken guitar. Your headstock will snap off, or it just falls down and it's all out of tune and it's just a big mess. I mean, it doesn't matter really how much you paid for your guitars. What matters is you want them to be safe and secure so that they're functional and you don't have to buy a new guitar if somebody knocks it over. So that's really what this is about. You want that security. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick tip that I learned from my buddy Jamie Trevino. You see this ledge here? When you pull your guitars out, it's possible that you could ding them on this. There is foam right here, but this still sticks up higher than the foam. So my concern was when I'm taking these out and putting them in, because I'm live, I'm nervous, I'm at a show, I'm in a hurry trying to do things, and sometimes your nerves get the better of you, so you want to avoid chipping your guitar on this. So what I did was I went to the hardware store and I bought a piece of foam. And it's basically just typical foam that you could get in the plumbing department. And I notched it out because there's separators here. As you can see, there's a separator here, here, and here, and then you got the ends. So I just notched it out for those. And then what I can do is just put it over here in a couple of seconds, and it covers all that up. And it stays on really nice because I made the notches really small so they're tight on the separators. So now when I pull a guitar out, this foam is covering that that ledge there, and even if it bangs against it, it's just hitting the foam. So that's a really cool tip for you, and I think that'll come in handy. Okay, so here's another thing I want to point out. So because I have power on this unit, there's a bus plug underneath. I can hook in like USB chargers for like my phone, for a tablet, and even for this. This is my Shure wireless battery charger. So I use that for my in-ears. So anytime I get to a gig and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to charge my batteries or whatever, there's my charging station. So while I'm at dinner, I got the lid on here, I got the power hooked into the side here, and all my batteries are charging, and when I get back, I'm good to go. Well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And once again, check out GOMC. Click on the link below and go to their website and check out all the cool stuff that they make. To all of my subscribers, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified when I come out with new episodes. Well, I got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I'll see you on the next one.